underwater gas explosions sinking ships. Geologist Martin Pepper has come to a commercial diving center in Florida to find out if there's any truth to the theory.
So the idea is that methane is coming from basically the decomposition of all this old dead matter. So it could be really deep within the sediment, and as the decomposition happens, methane is formed, and it basically kind of rises its way through the sediment.
Sometimes this rising gas gets stuck inside ice crystals, forming a snow-like deposit called methane clathrate that sits under the surface of the seabed.
What it is it's like a water cage of ice. And this ice cage can actually house 170 times the volume of gas into this cube of ice. Somehow when you disrupt that, it can cause the methane to just boil out of it. And as this rises in the water column, it'll actually lower the density of the water, and ships sailing over that can actually fall through that water because of the density change suddenly.
In theory, the pressure of gas built up inside these icy deposits could create an explosion of methane from the seabed. Bad news for any ships sailing overhead.
Bubble, instant disappearance.
To investigate the theory, Martin's devised an experiment using the closest thing to rare methane clathrates: dry carbon dioxide ice.
So what I need to do is make a big gas explosion, and to do that, I have a 2-liter bottle, and we put some of this dry ice in the bottle. And the beauty is once you lock this cap, the dry ice is subliming, so it's going straight to a gas, and you can see that it starts working the pressure up. It's gonna get up to about 300 psi before this thing finally cannot take it. Boom! And that's our big bubble of methane that we want to simulate to see if we can sink that ship.
Martin first wants to test his experimental setup for safety using a half-filled bottle.
This is something you should not try at home because it is very explosive. And if you don't understand the power of this, it can actually take off fingers, take out an eye. It's very dangerous. All right.
He pulls the bottle to the bottom of the 10-foot deep test area using a weighted pulley system and waits for the pressure to build.
Jeez, look at that! The whole dock jumped!
Could terrifying gas explosions like this really be sinking ships in the Bermuda Triangle?
That is impressive.
A significant clue lies in the frozen wasteland of Siberia. In 2014, reindeer herders discover huge holes blasted out of the icy tundra. Scientists investigate the holes and discover unusually high levels of methane at the bottom.
They're finding these pock marks, and the only thing that makes sense is that these clathrates, because of the rising temperatures around the Earth, they're starting to boil so quickly that they're forming pressures right underneath the ground level. And so they get to a pressure like this, and finally just boom, they explode, leaving this giant crater in the Earth.
With the safety test complete, Pepper preps a new bomb and then fills a plastic tub with 33-pound building blocks.
And so what we're doing is with this plastic tub is we're simulating a loaded cargo ship. So cargo ships are filled with goods to the point where there's just a little bit of them sitting above the surface.
He wants to see what effect an explosive release of gas will have on this heavily weighted floating target.
So we really don't know what's going to happen. It could go down because of the density change. It could go up because of that vertical water flow coming up, or it could just tip over on the edge of the bubble. Ready to do this?
I'm ready.
All right. So I've now positioned the tug right out here in safety, and you can tell that it's really deep. And so what I want to do is be here in this kayak and keep it positioned while we wait for the pressure to build in that 2-liter bottle.
Fully loaded and primed, the gas bomb is dragged to the bottom of the test area, and the barge maneuvered on top of it. A boat hook keeps the target in place against the changing tide.
Now we wait. Look at that! It's like a magic trick, just gone.
The rising gas rips open the surface of the water, and in a puff of icy vapor, the barge appears to vanish.
Oh, wow.
Slow motion cameras reveal what happened to the model cargo ship. First, a shockwave of water travelling ahead of the rising gas lifts the barge clean out of the water. And a camera inside the barge shows how the heavy craft dropped like a stone through the hole left by the rising gas. The experiment shows that a large enough gas explosion could sink a heavy floating ship. But there's a problem. There's no smoking gun. Nobody has ever seen a methane gas explosion in the Bermuda